There's something unusual about truly smart men. They don't try too hard. They don't chase love like it's running away. They don't crumble for female attention. And ironically, this is exactly why women find them more attractive. Because psychology is clear. Women are naturally drawn to men who show emotional control, healthy boundaries, and self-worth through what they refuse, not just what they offer. Attraction isn't created by effort. It's created by behavior that signals psychological strength. And smart men send those signals without ever saying a word. The first thing smart men refuse is begging for attention. Modern research on attachment styles shows that anxiously chasing validation triggers insecurity in the other person, not closeness. When a man floods her phone with messages, checks why she hasn't replied, or tries to force emotional connection, the female brain interprets this as instability. Women read subtle emotional cues faster than men, a skill linked to the larger prefrontal cortex and stronger mirror neuron activation in the female brain. So when a man becomes clingy, she feels it instantly. Smart men don't beg, chase, or pressure. They understand something powerful. If she's interested, she'll match your energy. If she's not matching it, stepping back creates more attraction than pushing forward. Desperation repels, self-possession attracts. The second refusal is engaging in emotional chaos. Neuroscience shows that when emotions rise, the nervous system reacts before logic does. Most men instinctively argue back, raise their voice, or get defensive, making everything worse. But smart men do the opposite. They refuse to mirror chaos. They regulate themselves. And through a psychological effect called co-regulation, her nervous system begins to calm in response to his calmness. Women don't fall for men who yell louder. They fall for men who stay rooted, balanced, centered. In conflict, a smart man becomes the emotional thermostat, not the emotional amplifier. That's why his presence feels safe. That's why his energy feels different. That's why she feels drawn to him without knowing why. The third refusal is vital. Smart men refuse unclear, inconsistent connections. They don't accept being half-loved. They don't become emotional crutches. They don't agree to maybe relationships. Psychological research shows that ambiguity in relationships triggers anxiety, reduces self-esteem, and creates one-sided emotional labor. Most men stay because they fear losing access. Smart men leave because they refuse confusion. They know that emotional clarity is a sign of emotional maturity. If she's unsure, they focus on themselves instead of trying to convince her. If she plays games, they step out of the game entirely. And the moment he removes himself, she becomes the one who wonders, chases, seeks answers. Because certainty is attractive, but boundaries are irresistible. Now here's number 4, the one that changes everything. Smart men refuse to abandon their purpose for a woman. Evolutionary psychology shows that a man's attractiveness is strongly tied to his sense of mission, ambition, and direction. Women subconsciously read purpose as stability, competence, and future security. When a man stops his goals for a woman, he doesn't appear loving, he appears lost. When a man gives up his gym routine, his projects, his discipline, and his ambition just to be more available, she doesn't see devotion, she sees regression. Women test boundaries because they want to know if a man stands for something outside of her. If he fails that test, attraction weakens. If he passes it, attraction skyrockets. A man who protects his purpose is a man she respects. A man who chases meaning is a man she admires. A man who stays committed to his growth is a man she can follow, trust, and build. With purpose is masculine gravity. It pulls everything in naturally. The fifth refusal might surprise you. Smart men refuse ego-driven arguing. They don't argue to win. They don't argue to dominate. They don't argue to prove who's right. Relationship psychology shows that women connect emotionally first, logically second. So when a man argues aggressively, she doesn't feel understood. She feels attacked. And when she feels attacked, she disconnects emotionally, even if he's right. Smart men refuse unnecessary battles. They speak slowly, calmly, clearly. They listen with curiosity, not with an agenda. They set boundaries without raising their tone. This approach activates what psychologists call secure emotional imprinting. It tells her nervous system, you can talk. I won't break. I won't explode. I won't disappear. Strong men don't dominate their woman. They dominate their emotions. And emotional leadership is one of the deepest triggers of attraction. But here's the secret behind all 5 refusals. Smart men aren't acting. They're not pretending to be calm or confident. They've built emotional habits that naturally signal strength. They don't force attraction. They embody what creates it. Their presence communicates, I choose myself first. And because I choose myself, I can choose you from a place of strength, not need. Women can feel the difference instantly. They remember how a man makes them feel. And nothing feels more magnetic than a man who refuses desperation, refuses chaos, refuses confusion, refuses abandonment of purpose, and refuses battles driven by ego. Because in the end, attraction isn't about being perfect. It's about being psychologically grounded. It's about boundaries. It's about emotional clarity. It's about self-respect that radiates without being announced. Smart men attract not by demanding attention, but by earning respect. When you refuse the things that weaken you, you become the man women naturally move toward, not because you chase them, but because you became the kind of man they don't want to lose.